Greetings! In last video, we already know the top 10 rumors among Chinese-speaking players, and now I'll share 10 more. We do have lots of interesting trivia in Chinese-speaking players community. Both official Chinese versions, I mean traditional and simplified. Their localizing teams confused Lysander and Lysander, so in Chinese versions, Lysander's aim and flank becomes Lysander's. This mistake brought an interesting rumor about some romance between this old deaf chemist and the Amazon. There's even many doujinshi stories that giving many details, and some of them are quite erotic. But now, most of my folks have already known that it's a rumor because more localized laws are released by Blizzard's Chinese department. Last video, I mentioned an honorable senpai player, flower-dropping cave lady, who discovered lots of cultural secrets about Diablo II items. But some of her studies are wrong. Arioc's needle is also one of them. She said this Arioch is actually the fallen angel Arioch in Milton's Paradise Lost. This theory's reasonable part is only because it grants poison damage, may be suitable for a fallen angel, but no further evidence in old canon. And the new canon completely removed this possibility as Blizzard declared it's made of body parts of spiders, while the Arioch in Paradise Lost means lion. When you ask a Chinese-speaking player about what the titles of the 5 acts are, most of my folks would give you the in-game cinematics names. This is because back in early 2000s, we didn't have much localized information about them. The only available one was an ebook manual sold along with Ubisoft's Chinese simplified version Diablo II Lord of Destruction's discs. Due to Ubisoft's poor service, quite a few people here had played that version, and even fewer had read that ebook. Although it's much easier for us to find the true names now, most players are just players who have no interest in studying laws. As the result, only a tiny percentage of us know that the real titles are The Sightless Eye for Act 1, The Secret of Visceri for Act 2, The Infernal Gate for Act 3, The Harrowing for Act 4, and Lord of Destruction for Act 5. Many Chinese-speaking players believe that Alkor has some kind of pet named Kuh-Mau-Lee. This is all about official localizing team's translating mistake. Alkor has a gossip dialogue. Care to take a gander at my grimoire? Grimoire actually means spellbook, a word very popular in fantasy works, but not so common in real life. The localizing team failed to translate it properly and used the transliteration term Kuh-Mau-Lee. This is very confusing, as many Chinese-speaking players never tried English version. They have no chance to know what it really is, so they thought it must be a name for Alkor's pet. Again, flower-dropping cave lady's mistake. We all know that Sazabi is to salute a mech in the comic series Gundam, but 20 years later, Diablo players and Gundam fans are two different groups of people among my folks, so she didn't know much about Gundam and gave a different answer. Xavier, the first missionary who spread Christian faith to Japan. She said that the Romaji form of Saint Xavier in Japanese is quite similar to Sazabi, and the set item names are all related to Christianity. Well, Saint Xavier's Japanese Romaji form should be Sainto Xavier, quite different from Sazabi, so this theory is not correct. And as time passing by, right now more and more Diablo II players here got familiar with Gundam, so this rumor is no longer spreading. Also a mistake of flower-dropping cave lady. This rumor is because few players would have the patience to watch a complete credit list after gameplay, no matter where they come from. If you read the credit list carefully, it could be easy to find that Skullder is the alias of Blizzard North staff member Chris Arioch. Unfortunately, flower-dropping cave lady didn't read this credit list either, so she inferred that Skullder could be the Norse goddess Skadi. This rumor is not very popular, as most players just simply accepted the name Skullder, but some lazy lore lovers believe it, then kept spreading it to other people. Official Chinese versions translated this Folly as fool, yet flower-dropping cave lady disagreed and said it should be stone circles, which is common to find during the gameplay. Seems reasonable, but if we check the strings within TBL files carefully, something funny would be found. Sander is the alias of Blizzard North staff member Derek McAuley, and there's an unused McAuley set within TBL table just matched the Sander set, the one equal to Sander's Folly named McAuley's Court Jester, which surely indicates that this Folly here is indeed fool and the official translations are just correct. This rumor is quite recent. It started after the release of Diablo III. Many Chinese-speaking players believed that after defeating Baal, the Paladin went back to Westmarch and got killed by his corrupted fellows. I don't know the exact origin, but it kept spreading and still spreading now, even if Blizzard's new Canon team had already given the real answer in Diablo IV. He carried the burden of guarding the host of Mephisto, Sangekua's corpse, and became a lesser boss in Diablo IV after death. Not many Chinese-speaking players have read the old canon novel Legacy of Blood. As the result, they don't know that the Bartuc had already been eliminated by Horizon before Act 2 story. When some lazy lore lovers saw Bartuc the Bloody at the throne, they thought he must be the Bartuc, and started to spread this rumor in the community. In fact, according to Legacy of Blood, the Bartuc was an extremely powerful being. Most demons would bow to him. He was more like a great demon lord that could walk through the burning hell and commanding anything he wanted. Although Blizzard Canon has never identified who this Bartuc the Bloody is, he could never be the already eliminated one. By the way, there's already a lesser boss titled as Blood Warlord in Diablo 1. He also impossible to be the Bartuc. I can only infer that him, along with Bartuc the Bloody, might be some fake ones using this famous title to terrify their foes. I counted this rumor as number 1 is because it's personal. Several years before, a bookseller in mainland China decided to publish a simplified Chinese version of 3 old canon novels, Legacy of Blood, The Black Road, and The Kingdom of Shadow together. For propaganda, he declared that they were a trilogy. As we all know, these 3 books are totally independent, and there had never been an old canon trilogy published because the last 2 books of Zygarde trilogy has been cancelled by the new canon team. I figured this out in NetEase's Kane's Corner community and received quite unfriendly replies from this bookseller. After that quarrel, I completely left that community and never returned there. This rumor might not have been widely spread, but shown unpleasant arrogance of commercial propaganda. Very disgusting.